A man was about to bury a mutated duck egg when, upon hitting it with his shovel, the egg fell. He then discovered that the yolk wasn't ordinary, but a glittering gold metal. He examined it closely with a flashlight. Good heavens, could this be gold? If it was real, he'd strike it rich. The egg was laid by the pet duck he'd given his son just a few days prior. The duck had accidentally drunk some nuclear wastewater, and his wife, Eva, worried the eggs might be harmful, so she had her husband, Hugo, bury them. Unexpectedly, the duck hadn't mutated, but had laid a golden egg instead. The next day, Hugo took the golden egg to a lab for testing, and it didn't disappoint him. The egg was 99% pure gold. He was so happy he immediately quit his job. He rushed home to tell his wife the good news. Although they were currently facing financial difficulties, from now on, they wouldn't have to worry about money anymore. Going to work was out of the question, because their duck was now an ATM. However, his wife, with a mixture of joy and sorrow, told him that she had just sold the duck to the old man at the neighboring farm for 10 yuan. Hugo nearly fainted from anger. That was a priceless, magical duck that laid golden eggs. It should still be possible. His wife urged him to go redeem the duck. Fortunately, the old man hadn't discovered the duck's ability to lay golden eggs. So Hugo offered to buy it back for a huge sum of 20 yuan. The old man thought, there are still such fools in the world, so he told him to catch one himself. But when Hugo ran into the farm, he was stunned. Thousands of identical ducks. It was like searching for a needle in a haystack. Which one was his duck? Just when everyone was at a loss, Hugo's son, Shaoan, suddenly remembered that his pet duck, Xiaobai, seemed to particularly like the sound of dogs barking. To get their magical duck back, Hugo had no choice but to start barking at the ducks. Unexpectedly, thousands of ducks liked the sound of barking. Was there no way? Then the son opened the gate and dejectedly prepared to go home. Unexpectedly, the ducks all followed him and swam into the river. Hugo tried to round up the ducks, but ended up soaked to the bone. Fortunately, his son's pet duck was loyal, happily following him out of the farm. But the man called for over 30 minutes without any response. Then, Kai, their dog, barked twice, and the next second, the duck laid an egg. Upon cracking it open, the yolk was indeed golden. This made Hugo overjoyed. He quickly made a rough calculation at home, figuring that one egg would be worth at least 15,000 yuan. For eggs per hour, 6 hours of work a day. That's 85,840 yuan. So at least 100,000 yuan a day. He thought, at this rate, he'd be a billionaire in no time. That night, Hugo actually let the duck and his son sleep in the same bed. He quietly closed the window, worried the duck might catch a cold, and covered them with a blanket, then carefully closed the door. Eva was dumbfounded. He'd probably never been so good to his wife before. Sure enough, Eva got angry. But even so, the next day, her mood wasn't affected at all, and she put on a beautiful dress to go shopping. But then a phone call came. It was the repayment date. The bank demanded repayment within 3 days, or they would sue. Eva instinctively pleaded for more time. But just then, she saw the duck by the window. A thought struck her, and she immediately had a solution. They had a gold mine at home, so she happily took a golden egg to the bank. But the bank only accepted cash, not golden eggs. But that was easy to solve. Eva went to a jewelry store and exchanged the golden egg for cash. She not only repaid the debt, but also bought herself several new designer outfits. Eva was a simple girl. When asked where the golden eggs came from, she actually said her duck laid them. This angered Hugo. If others found out their duck laid golden eggs, it would cause unnecessary trouble. But a friend said this was a good method. After all, who would believe a duck could lay golden eggs? So they did just that. From then on, whenever the duck laid a golden egg, Eva would dress like a rich woman and exchange the gold for money. She raked in the money. Even Hugo went wild, buying a top-of-the-line sports car. But the businesses buying the golden eggs suffered. The accumulation of large quantities of high-purity golden eggs caused a rapid drop in gold prices and attracted the attention of the finance department. After investigation, they discovered that all the golden eggs were sold by the same wealthy woman. Now they were in trouble. The duck accidentally jumped onto a battery and was unexpectedly electrocuted, emitting a green light, but it didn't seem to be affected. It even fully recharged the battery. Hugo quickly picked up the duck. It would be a huge loss if it got electrocuted. Unknown to him, the duck had awakened a new skill. To test if the duck was electrocuted silly, Hugo quickly started barking like a dog. Unexpectedly, When the duck heard his barking, it immediately laid an egg. Opening it, it was still a golden, shining yolk. Now he's really going to make it big, because Hugo could now control the output of golden eggs. However, all this was witnessed by a spy outside the window. So, while Hugo was away, he tried to trade a bicycle for the duck with the boy. The naive Shawan had no idea how many bicycles a golden egg could buy. He even told the secret to the other party. After learning this, the spy immediately started barking like a dog, but the duck didn't react for a long time. At this time, Wang Kai, who was nearby, barked twice, and the duck, hearing the barking, with a quack, immediately laid an egg. Luckily, Eva arrived in time and took the egg away, almost getting discovered. Seeing that the secret of the golden eggs was about to be revealed, Hugo quickly hid all the unsold golden eggs. But just then, people from the Ministry of Finance came looking for him. After learning that the duck laid golden eggs, they declared that the duck was state property and that no one could own it, and told him to hand over the duck immediately. Shawan, knowing that these people were going to take away his pet, quickly escaped with Xiaobai through the back door. But ultimately, they were chased and caught by these people. The duck thus became a national treasure, prepared to be transported back to produce golden eggs. However, the duck refused to cooperate, and after returning, not only did it not lay a single egg, but it also ate their food. Hugo's family was therefore taken to court. The Minister of Finance said that if the duck couldn't lay eggs, then Hugo would have to compensate them for the expenses incurred in capturing the duck, including feed costs. In court, following Hugo's method, the minister could only start barking like a dog. Unexpectedly, the duck seemed to understand that its owner was about to face trouble, and quickly laid an egg. But when the judge opened the egg, he discovered that it was just a normal duck egg. Finally, the judge declared Hugo's family innocent, and returned the duck to him. Okay, finally, I want to tell you all a way to make a duck lay golden eggs. If it happens, then you must still be